Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy fancy pants again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello. Welcome to another very exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. I'm sitting here in my studio with your husband and mine, Daniel Quantz. Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
You know, I do have a guest. I have two guests coming in October. So
Cool. That's exciting.
How do you feel about that?
I feel great.
I need to clarify. I have multiple guests coming in October for the Thursday show. That is a rotating, it's like a French farce.
Mm-hmm.
When you think French farce, do you imagine like someone running out one door and running in another in a different costume because he's sleeping with like women in both rooms?
I'm completely unfamiliar with French culture.
I don't know if it's French culture. It's French farce.
Is that an American thing that's called French farce?
No, I feel like in a French farce, there's like, you know,
I like to eat French farces.
Almost like yakety sax, crazy music, but Frenchified going on. And then there's like a French businessman, like sleeping with a woman in one room, and she might be like a French maid who's like bends over and is like, tee-hee, and then he like runs out one door, and then he also is like sleeping with a rich French
This sounds great.
heiress in another room, and he's got to change his outfit on the way. Oh, sort of. We saw an episode of Kevin Can F Himself that had a similar device happening.
Right.
Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I have a couple Monday show guests coming in, and one of them, do you know my friend J.R. Griffin? This is one of my oldest friends.
Okay.
Who I don't think you've ever met.
Wow.
He and I wrote together for Mean Street and then a bunch of other magazines. And then we stayed, this started my freshman year of college. And then we stayed friends for the longest time. We used to always go to South by Southwest together. We have so many memories together. He lives in Eagle Rock now. I haven't seen him. He came over because he was going to a white elephant party. And one of the guys there was a big fan of mine, one of the people who was attending. So he wanted a signed headshot to bring as the white elephant gift.
Maybe I did.
And I can't remember. I can't decide if that is an insult or not. I don't think it is, but it also may be a smidge. Not intentional, but just that like, isn't the whole point of a white elephant gift party that they're all shitty gifts?
Or just novelty gifts. I don't think they necessarily have to be shitty.
But then the guy ended up not going to the party.
Oh, really? Then it really was shitty for everyone else.
Kind of, yeah. But so anyway, he works for, I don't know exactly who he works for right now, but he's always posting behind the scenes at America's Got Talent. So whatever company it is, I should know. Whatever company that does America's Got Talent. Yes, that's who he works for. And I reached out and I'm like, you should come on my show. He's like, oh my God, I would love that. So many stories are coming to mind. So self-indulgent, kind of, but I cannot wait to go down memory lane with him.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you very much. But today I'm here to go down the present lane.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go down a present lane?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, to go down the present lane with you. I told you that I have some news. This is important news for me, a little bit for you, and for the status of the studio. But first, I need to start with a hearty, hey, go fuck yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Cigna Healthcare. I have some words for you. It does seem the vast majority of claims these days, claims that are identical to claims that you have paid for years now, are getting flagged. And then there'll be some kind of note on there about something with a CMS and a column 1 and a column 2. It is like someone wanted to come up with a spoof of internal language. That is what it looks like to me. And call me a cynic. Go ahead, Daniel. Call me a cynic.
You cynic.
Sounds like you called me a eucynic.
You are a cynic.
I'm a eucynic. I'm eucynical. But anyway, I just think this is something, I think I said it before. I feel like they have a slider on their back end where they can they can determine how impossible it is for someone to get their claim paid. And then they just invent reasons because they never make a mistake in their error. And it takes too many phone calls. Like I had a lovely phone call with someone named Olivia, Olyvia. I know because she had to email me afterwards today and she said, so this one fucking claim for you and I we're doing counseling, which if you listened to last week, you understand why. It's out of network, but they pay a portion of it. However, since July, they've decided they don't anymore because this claim is denied. An unacceptable code was billed as the primary diagnosis. Please submit a corrected claim. Excuse me, what the fuck? It's been the exact same code for a couple years now. So Olivia, who meant well and is very nice, was like, yeah, we have a claims office that doesn't accept incoming calls. So I can't find out what. There's always a back office. How does anyone, I imagine they're in some windowless black ops room. What does this mean? It doesn't accept incoming calls because what they're doing in there is so important. I don't understand. Anyway,
their job is just to make it hard for you to file a claim.
Then they are doing gangbusters at their job. Hey, Cigna.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
All right. And now on to the news. Do you have any
that wasn't the news?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what it might be?
You got your color profile.
Yes!
Oh, exciting.
I did. Okay, so, excuse me, there's a burp trapped in my throat. Got it. I decided to have my colors done by this woman named Carol Braley, Cole Imperi, who mostly wears burnt sienna, rust yellow. Like she is very much in her color palette zone. She said that she had her colors done and it was like life-changing. And so it's very trendy right now on social media. And I have a sense of what my colors are. I assume, I think, I'll hang on to that. But I thought I'm going to do it because then once we have that answer, we can sort of make the studio my colors. And then if the promise of color theory is correct, I won't even need to wear makeup when I'm sitting in my studio because I will be glowing. My fine lines will be lessened and I'll just be an ethereal celestial being who's in her correct color palette. So
I can't wait.
Sent off an array of photos. What do you think do you know the different color palettes?
Do I know the different
do you know what the options are?
Not in this context.
What would you think that it's going to say I am? So so it's like,
give me an idea of what we're talking about.
True winter, true summer, soft
like
winter. Yeah. Or warm or cold.
It's tough. I would say you're probably winter or autumn.
Do you know what autumn is?
Browns, earth tones.
Okay. So I assumed I was a true winter because I think I look good in jewel tones. I didn't know if I was cool or maybe neutral or maybe pale olive, but I tend to wear silver. Oh, exclusively wear silver. Mm-hmm. Jewel tones are what I usually look good in. And I'm like pale as fuck and I have black hair. I am Snow White, if you will. I'm right. Snow White-esque. However, when I sent in the photos, I was noticing, because they have you cover your hair, I was noticing there's a lot of orange tones in my skin. And I was thinking maybe that's just discoloration. I don't know, but there's a lot of warmth in there. Like maybe I'm not actually going to be a true winter because she warns you, you're going to be shocked. Like most people are surprised. And I promise you this is correct. But you might be unhappy with your results or just surprised by it. And then I also started thinking back to a couple items of clothing that I had when I was a teenager, when I had more of a tan, that weren't winter, and I really liked them, and I always got compliments on them. Okay, so Tony, play a drum roll. I am a true autumn.
That's what I told you.
I'm the same color palette as Cole and Perry, which is shocking to me. Can you imagine me in mustard yellow or like burnt sienna?
I wouldn't put you in yellows.
I know. You famously told me that early on when I was wearing a yellow shirt. You said
yellow's a tough color.
I don't think that's the right color for you.
No.
Here's the thing, though.
But I called it autumn. You didn't have to pay all this money to this person. You could just ask me.
Wouldn't you have said winter, though?
No. Did I say winter?
Just a moment ago, yes. You said winter or autumn.
Oh. Well, I was half right. Look how my mind completely
Did you forget that you had said that?
To the part where I hedged it.
Oh, and I'm warm. What? I should be wearing gold jewelry. This is shocking to me. Black is one of my worst colors, evidently, which is going to be difficult for me to be able to
always
do.
tell you to wear color.
But
whenever you get color, you look good in color.
All right.
You're just, I think you've been insecure about color, so you wear black.
Yeah. I mean, let me just show you some of the colors that I should be wearing, evidently. Well, where did these go? I downloaded them. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, what? Doesn't this seem wrong? I'm holding up a bunch of colors next to my face. Doesn't this seem wrong, Daniel?
I would not agree on the entire palette.
Right.
For you. But I would say that all of those are on the warm, those are like warm versions. What we're looking at here is a rainbow, essentially, where everything's been toned sort of towards the warm.
It looks like it's like a Thanksgiving cornucopia. Gobble gobble.
And I would say
that's a turkey sound.
Yes to it, except for the well,
But see, it says brown burgundy, and I feel like a true burgundy would look better on me.
I would say yes, you actually could wear those yellows, except that I wouldn't wear them to the degree that Cole wears them.
Right.
Cole, it's like she'll just be wearing a mustard colored everything.
Right.
Which, I would use it more as like a highlight or a what would you call it?
A guide? I mean, russet and currant. Yes, I could see myself wearing those, but like aubergine, no, I can't really pull off an aubergine.
Why don't you give it a go?
I mean, I could try. Okay, so here's some things. 5 key colors. Dark rust, orange. I look awful in orange. This is what's so confusing.
Let me see the orange. Or is it just saying the word orange? See, that's
almost a coral.
That's almost like a blood orange. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very reddish orange.
I guess. I just know that in general, I can't wear orange. Green olive, currant, and mustard.
Like, I'm also autumn, I'm sure.
Yeah. But you and I don't have the same coloring at all.
I feel like it's overly simplistic to say, or overly general to say autumn, because for me, I'm autumn, but I'm like darker colored autumn.
Color dimensions. Gold undertone, warm, deep or light, and muted. Muted colors don't really work on me.
And I can't do reds or yellows.
Earthy, woodsy, mossy, rich, tangy, spicy. Image. Spectacular, strong, mature. You take that back. Decisive, natural, grounded. Jewelry. Natural materials. Gold, antique gold, brass, copper, wood, tortoiseshell. I mean, what? Browns are the best neutral, especially those that tone with hair color. Textures work well. I'm going to start shopping in like a souvenir shop and just wearing like jangly wooden bracelets. So she had a note for me, which was, let's see.
Like that burgundy you're wearing works.
Yeah, I know. And I think this is part of the palette.
I know. I'm agreeing.
Oh, here we go. These are the fabrics that Cole has. Let's see. There's a blue in there. And I've noticed that navy doesn't work well on me. I think it is too cool. But okay, this woman had a note. I'm trying to find it because I sent it to Cole. Okay. I see your coloring is moving very slightly towards the deep autumn palette, but not quite there. What does that mean?
Who knows?
It's changing. You may want to focus on the darker colors of the true autumn palette.
That's what I'm talking about.
As you will likely enjoy these best.
That's me. Like if I wear reds, even in the autumn palette, if I wear those reds or yellows, it washes me out.
Now I wonder what the deep autumn colors are. So anyway, should we make this studio Thanksgiving themed?
Well, definitely like browns. It's always been if I were to have done it, if you would have just said, Daniel, can you just do it? I would have put browns like towards, not really dark browns, but sort of dark-ish.
Oh yeah, these deep autumns feel more me.
Like wood paneling and that kind of thing on the walls.
Yes. Well, here's the thing is when I see people's studios that are like wood and red, I always gravitate towards those. I always think that combination seems good.
Mm-hmm.
A much like darker, richer situation. So
yeah, it was always my inclination to make this
a man cave.
Warmer. No, more like a cabin feel.
Yes.
Like an autumn. That's why I have the fireplace in here.
Right. All right. Well, now we can do it.
Will we, though? Will we? Will we, Alison? Really?
Have you heard me talk about dense bean salad? Do you know what this is? Oh, this is a little bit of a twat.
This week on TikTok, also known as twat.
Okay, so TikTok has been serving me nonstop footage of annoying women going like, to the person who introduced me to the dense bean salad, I love you. You changed my life. And a dense bean salad is a goddamn bean salad. They just put a bunch of beans in there.
Why do they call it dense beans? Because there's a lot of beans?
I guess, yeah. But like
like a normal bean salad would have a lot of lettuce, and this
it wouldn't
is
though.
More beans per square.
There's no lettuce in it. It's like beans, cucumber. There's all different kinds, and then there's a acidy. And by the way, people who call like. I feel like when people use the word acid to refer to like vinegar or lemon juice, and when they say dense, I feel that there's something very self-satisfied about it. They're like, look at me. I'm a gourmand. I'm a culinary expert. And that's why it annoys me because it feels very smug. Just call it a bean salad. You don't have to say dense. And apparently it makes you fart like no one's business.
Fucking assholes.
I hate them.
I tried bean. I don't feel I can't
eat beans.
No, I mean I can't eat beans without it just having a Lollapalooza in my tummy.
Well, I think most people are experiencing this, especially on dense bean salad talk. Yeah. But I imagine going to a lunch or even a luncheon, and I don't know the difference, of women who talk about dense bean salads and wanting to leave right away because these people...
Because they have to poop immediately?
No, it's not that. It's not that. If they were sitting there talking about like their gastrointestinal distress, I would be like, now we're talking. Let's share details. You're my crew. But instead, it's going to be, what do they talk about? They talk about the reading list in school, but not in an interesting way. They talk about getting like high fructose corn syrup out of things.
What is this you're talking about?
I'm imagining the kind of things that these women talk about and why I don't want to be around them.
They just get together to have dense bean salad together? What's happening?
I think you tuned out or I forgot
following.
to. Okay. I'm explaining why I can't stand these women.
Which women?
The women who talk about dense bean salads.
On TikTok?
Yes. I'm imagining that in the same way that I don't like architects because I feel like if I were at a party full of architects, they would just be like, who's this sloppy, unstylish heathen?
If I was at a party with architects, I would feel bad about myself.
Me too.
Because I would feel like, God damn it, I should have gotten a master's degree. I should be an expert in something like this.
Because I feel like an architect would be like, here, let me give you some advice. And then they'd pull out some kind of like cool leather holster that has some cool, expensive pencil in it. And then they'd write in small, all caps. And everything they do is considered and measured and stylish versus like, I just rolled into all aspects of life.
Architect, to me, like, is this abstract idea of a thing that I could have been because I was good at all of the things that one has to be good at to be an architect. And like,
You have to be a megalomaniac.
well, and I know that like there's a good school of architecture at the University of Arizona, which is where I would have gone had I not gotten into USC and gotten the scholarship and everything like that. And I only say the scholarship because it's like even getting into USC, I couldn't have gone. I had to also get like that's
Do you
how.
feel bad about that? You should feel good that you got a scholarship.
I do. No,
Okay.
I don't want to. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm not
Okay.
gonna like, ooh, look at me. I'm just saying how much of a long shot it seems.
Yeah.
It seems
Right.
like. So there was a very good chance that I was going to go to the U of A
And become an architect?
Well, that's probably.
If you had told me this while we were dating, you and I would not be married.
I don't know that I would have,
Okay.
but in my mind's eye, it's like because it's a better program there than maybe like the media or theater or something like that, which I don't think I would have majored in there. There's a very good chance I would have gone in that direction.
Architecture?
I'm not saying I would have. I'm saying in my mind, it's this abstract notion
Okay.
of an alternative reality.
Gotcha. Well, thank God
an
it's
alternate
stayed in your
reality.
mind.
And so I think like, oh, I would have been like this professional. And what it means to me is like, I would have been this very,
Stylish.
I would have been all those things that kind of represent adulthood and sort of mastery of something. And, whereas I'm just a fucking sloppy piece of shit right now. And the truth of being an architect, though, is like so much different than what it is in my head. Did we talk about this recently?
No, but I just want to apologize for not letting you get to your point. Because you were making a point, and I was so stuck on what you were suggesting, which was so revolting to me.
I'm used to it. The thing about, I think, with architects and architecture is it's like, dude, I feel like we had this conversation. It's not about the person sitting there. It's not like, yes, there's the Frank Gehry.
And the Elise Keatons of the world.
Right, who reaches that height, who can like...
Harold Rourkeman or whatever the Ayn Rand guy is.
Right, but like I feel like the reality of it is, so much of it is just like, broken into and by the way, if I'm wrong about this, if anyone knows, like let me know, but I feel like it's broken into special sort of my English is specialities
Specialties is how I say it.
I have this like tendency to do Spanglish on certain words, like
specialités.
No, I want to say like especialities.
Oh, okay. Fuck you, Brenna.
This is growing up. A half hour from the border does to your brain. Specialities. Like you're the person who does this aspect of the infrastructure on a building, or you're the person
like
that
it's
does.
kind of
You're the draftsman, or you're the this or that. It isn't like this holistic. You're doing it all.
My dad, were he alive, and like present enough to have this conversation, would have said that that's what happened to medicine a long time ago.
Right, interesting.
Because when he went into it, it was like, who's the guy who made House Calls? Not Perry Mason, but Percy Mercy.
Percy Mercy. The famous doctor.
There's
Percy Stevens.
Someone MD, not Quincy, but there's a guy on a show who shows up with his little doctor bag at night. Who am I thinking of? I feel like it starts with a P.
Percy Mercy.
That's the British show. What is it called? Isn't there a show?
Dr. Quinn.
Medicine Man?
No.
Medicine
Man.
Men can be doctors too.
I don't know.
Isn't there a show with a guy?
I'm sure.
Percy.
Walter Percy.
All right, now
MD.
I got to Google. Hang on. Show about a doctor who makes house calls. Show about doctor.
I feel like society's going
House
back to that,
calls.
like at least at a certain
You
economic
mean
level.
with like the concierge doctors?
Yeah, like people over a certain, when you hit a certain bracket, now you get house calls again.
Am I thinking of Marcus Welby, MD?
I don't know.
Marcus Welby, Percy Mercy. That sounds about right. I feel like it was a older show though. But anyway, when he went into it, he was a family doctor, GP, but now everyone's like got their especialite. And they, I think kind of, he would say, Dr. Angela, tell me if I'm wrong, although she's a pediatrician, so holistic.
I feel there are some that are more holistic.
Yeah, like they just look at their specialty then.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
It's
the HMO tried to get us away from that.
It's like that parable of all the people who are just touching a part of an elephant and saying what it is, but they don't even realize it's an elephant.
I was just, that's funny that you bring that up. I was just listening to some scientists gabbing about science and how often when scientists are all separately working on the same problem, they will argue over, what is true. And each of them can be right because of that same idea, because each one of them is looking at a different, they don't have that broader sense of it.
That's so interesting. So back to what I was saying.
Yes.
It's interesting to me that both you and I feel sloppy, messy, and young. And
I think it's because
around architects.
Yeah, we were at a place for Owen, won't give specifics. Remember when it was like
a whorehouse.
It was in like East. I forget, it was like Eagle Rock or something.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that was an architecture firm.
We were in a waiting room for like an hour and a half on the most. This office shared a waiting room area with an architecture firm.
Yeah.
And there was this like low slung chaise seating that was the most uncomfortable thing. But the whole place was like bleached driftwood and so stylish. However, do you remember the thing that undercut the whole operation aside from the uncomfortable chair?
What undercut the operation?
There was something that made it so that I couldn't see it as anything other than
a bathroom.
Yeah, but do you remember the problem with the bathroom?
It smelled like poop.
Close. It smelled like rats.
Oh, I
like decaying rats, because I know or decaying. Some kind of dead animal was nearby. It had the sweet, disgusting smell of dead mice or rats, or I don't know what it was, but it's like very distinct if you know it. And and once I smelled it in the bathroom, I started smelling it elsewhere. You're not all that architects, but anyway. So let me get back to where I was going with dense bean salad.
Oh, well, let me just finish.
Okay.
Put a button on that. There was a guy. Do you remember the guy who worked at the architecture firm who reminded me of that character in Ted Lasso, Cherv Grimmins or whatever from The Independent?
Trent Crimmins.
Cherv
Grimmins, Percy Mercy.
And that's part of the thing with the architects is I think they make enough money where they always have like impeccable style. So they always look like snatched.
It just means like, just.
Oh, look at you in your blue blazer and your
Yes.
khakis and your the pants that are they're just a little too short, but just just right. And your fucking scarf and your coiffed do and your perfect glasses.
Many of my Orange County friends have this look.
It's like, God damn it, you fuckers. I'm just trolling around. I don't even care anymore. I'm cutting my own hair. I'm wearing fucking slip-on sneakers and like I am the picture of having given up. And I see those people, I'm like, you to the meat grinder with you.
Wow.
I've been listening to Sweeney Todd, so.
Oh. Cool.
Slowly turning into him. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. So finish your point.
Oh, I would just hate to be around women who think it's fun to talk about dense bean salad. That's pretty much my whole point. But I feel for DKB, Daniel's Cool Beans, which the audience is clamoring for, I should probably make some dense bean salad because it probably tastes good, but I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to call it bean salad.
My mom would make bean salad She made this thing.
Was
called,
it whipped and airy?
It was like
a frothy or dense?
It was like a 7-bean salad, and I would sit at the fucking dining room table and I would sit there all night because I was not allowed to leave unless I ate it, and I would not touch it, and so I would just sit there.
Wait, did you hate all 7 beans?
I hated lima beans, and I hated lentil beans. I've since grown a taste for these things. I wonder if I'd like the salad now, but it was like just, and there might have been something in there that tasted funky to me. You know, I'm realizing like kids have a more sensitive palate.
Yes.
Like you get on kids for being picky eaters, but it's like, yeah, but things taste more intense
They're
to
more
kids,
strong
I think.
to them, yeah.
Like I barely taste anything now. I could eat anything.
Yeah, is it from COVID?
I don't know. I can barely smell anything. I can barely taste anything. I could fucking eat a lump of shit and not know it. Like, it's just like, it's fucking, I'm done. Like, my body's just.
Peace out?
Yeah, pretty much piecing out right now. Like, it's just, I'm just like a shadow of myself. So it's like, but the kids, they're like.
Just starting out. They're at the beginning of their taste.
Everything is intense to them. They're like an uncalloused foot.
How many times I've said that before. I don't want you to be sunsetting.
Yeah, me either. But
sundowning? I don't know.
Here we are. Yeah, here we are.
It's interesting because I've noticed that you don't taste and you don't smell anymore.
I don't enjoy anything anymore.
Sounds like someone needs to get their meds adjusted.
I guess. What's there to enjoy? Tell me.
This show. People enjoy this show.
Just tell me one thing in life to enjoy, and I'll try to enjoy it. Try again.
Me.
Nope.
Petey. Wendy.
This is. I mean, I guess. Yeah, sure. My family and my blah, blah, blah.
People are going to think you're serious. I know you're a little serious.
I'm a little serious, but I'm tired. So.
Hi, this is Seth Eisenberg from the DC area, Silver Spring. Alison is actually from the Game of Thrones sequel, House of Dragons. It's her name is Alison Hightower, and she's one of the main characters. And yes, I didn't think that it was an old name, although apparently it is. But every single time now I hear the Alison Rosen theme song, I think, it would be really funny if it was Allison's instead of Alison. So maybe it was, in the back of her mind as well. And then also a few quibbles on Daniel's rants about Moses and the Ten Commandments. Ten Commandments happened much later than the burning bush, and he was not told not to kill or given any commandments besides speaking to Pharaoh and to the people of Israel. At the burning bush, that was sort of part of his origin story. Ten Commandments with thou shalt not murder came much later. There's a lot more I could say about that, but I'll just leave it there. Once again, this is Seth Eisenberg from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Did a bush talk to him? I don't even know the burning bush situation.
I mean, I will admit I don't really know the Bible at all. Clearly, this isn't the only correction I have received, which I'm happy to get. I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things. I read that part of the Bible. And that was how I interpreted what I was reading. But clearly, if I had read a lot before and a lot after, I'd understand context better. So yeah. And then what was it? Oh, I feel like I should have gotten the Alison thing because I've been watching House of the Dragon. It's funny that you said when that got brought up.
I didn't say Alice. I was saying Alison because that's what I heard. Maybe
that's
her say.
Why I didn't connect.
I said my name's Alison. She said Alison or Alicent. Is how I heard it.
Alicent is how you pronounce her name.
Like Millicent with an L.
Right.
A name I've never heard. It's so interesting. All right.
Hey, good morning from Portland, Oregon. This is Kimmy. I, first of all, want to say I had zero clue, that Beetlejuice was a sequel. Thought it was a remake or a musical or something.
Thank you.
that, but I paused sharing that because you guys just made me giggle so much when you were talking about that. Anyways, I have a go fuck yourself. It goes out to my little uninvited housemates. I'm not sure how long I've been cohabitating with these critters because I wear earplugs at night, but I have at least had these uninvited house guests for at least 2 or 3 months, which is creeping me the hell out. Also, I'd like to give a quick fuck off to my exterminator, Glenn, who was giggling while I was becoming queasy when he was showing me how to check the traps for the mice, period.
Yeah.
Finally, I would like to tell my neighbors
Oh,
who
wait
are
a minute.
putting additions onto their
She paused, I think, for the "Hey, go fuck yourself" drop.
Oh, she did.
That is brilliant.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
house. They can also fuck off because they're the ones that have displaced the mice. Anyways, happy Friday. Thanks, guys. Again, it's Kimmy from Portland.
Ugh. Daniel, were you here when I shared my big realization that it is the tails that are the problem with mice?
Yeah.
You heard me
was
say
exciting. Yeah, it was exciting.
I thought I said that when you weren't here. Why haven't they evolved beyond the tails? Like, the tails are making people dislike them. Why haven't they turned into hamsters?
I don't think us liking them has been a factor in their evolution. So
You'd
the
think
way
it
it is
would
with
be.
dogs,
You'd think it. Oh, you mean like they haven't
they didn't evolve in order for
to
us
be
to like
man's
them.
best friend? I know, but they're getting killed a lot because we are creeped out by them. And if they were cute little hamsters, we'd just like befriend them and let them help
I'm
us
sure
make
the
dresses.
tail being the way it is serves some sort of advantage.
Yeah, I know, but have they considered not having that tail?
I know. I mean, you should talk to them about it.
Do I have any mouse listeners?
I don't know.
Hi, it's Lisa. I'm only calling because an Instagram story asked me to, and Wendy and Petey want me to. I have nothing to add except I love Cavaliers, and my little rescue Cavalier right now is snoring and sawing some wood. Could call her Jesus Christ because she's a carpenter, basically. But I'm ching. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Goodbye.
I've literally never heard that joke before. Have you heard people who snore be called Jesus Christ because they're carpenters?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, neither have I. Listen, big day in the Rosenquantz household because Wendy slept in our bed last night.
Big day
She
for
has
Wendy.
been clear. It was kind of a big day for us too. For me.
I know that Wendy, the night before, or maybe it was, I think.
Let me just set the stage. She's always slept in our bed, but then after her surgery, she's been sleeping in her crate.
And she has not been thrilled about it.
No.
And for a long time, she would just make these noises, and then I'd have to like throw a shoe at her crate in order to shut her up.
Which bothered me every single time you did it, to be honest. But it worked.
I didn't love doing it, but is the only thing that would make her shut up.
Yeah, it just it freaked me. I
wouldn't throw it. I would just throw it so that
something to sort of
clang and and startle her.
And then she stopped.
She would always stop. But the routine has been that she would come into the bathroom while I was getting ready for bed, and then when it was time for bed, I would like pick her up and put her in the crate. But then the night before last, I went down to pick her up, and she kind of moved away from me and then just stomped into her crate. It was just like, I'm doing this, fuck it. It was just like, and then just looked at me. And it was just, I don't know, you just get a vibe like she's just pissed that this is the way it is. So that the next night, I feel like, okay, I'm sure she's very happy that she's back in the bed.
I feel a little bit like, things are how they should be with her in the bed again. Because she's been cleared to use the dog stairs. Now, Japan.
By our vet.
Yes, by our cardiologist.
Japan says no.
Well, they didn't specifically say anything, but Japan is like they should never run again. They should never jump on furniture. Japan is like much more strict about what they should do, and our cardiologist and America is a little more loose.
But dogs in Japan don't run.
Right, they're in strollers and they're carried kind of everywhere. I think probably to play it safe, we would do what Japan says, but I also think quality of life is important for her and us.
I'm not convinced that she's doing enough running or jumping or anything for it to matter. Like,
right.
If she's doing a lot of that, if she's doing like agility or something.
Yeah. I was worried that those dog stairs would be like ga-jing, ga-jing, ga-jing. But I watched her and it's really like there's not a lot of impact going up them. So anyway, although this new thing has been happening where I've been going to sleep at 9 p.m. I know what the new thing is. I've been taking a melatonin gummy, not a weed gummy, a melatonin gummy. When I was having trouble sleeping years ago, I took melatonin. It did zip times.
But you were probably also
squat.
drinking lots of coffee.
I
right
was
before
drinking
bed.
coffee until nighttime and convinced it had no effect on me. Melatonin didn't touch my insomnia. But now it's like one kid's melatonin gummy is knocking me out. So I don't really have a recollection of her in our bed, but I know she was there and it made me happy. Now, was Petey okay with it? Because he didn't have his little buddy, his little crate next to him, buddy. He did wake up really early, though. He woke up, he started whining before.
That might be why.
Like at 5:30. I think he needs to be in our bed, too. But I don't trust that little guy not to pee in our bed. I feel like the way Petey rolls, he'll just be like, I need to pee. This is a good spot.
Maybe.
I don't know
as
what
long
do you
as
think?
he pees on your side of the bed.
He will, because he
Okay
likes
with
to
that.
hang out by me.
Yeah, then that's fine.
But they usually don't pee where they sleep. So maybe he'll walk over to you, pee, and then come
then
back.
That's a problem. I had a pretty... I had one of those feelings where you have it and you're like, well, this isn't a sign that I'm a great person, but I had it anyway, which is I was backing out. I want to say it feels like it was this morning, but I think it was yesterday morning. Backing out of our driveway in the morning, and I was in a bit of a rush to get to the school so that the boys weren't late. And when you back out, there is like a particular spot that if someone's standing in it,
A blind spot.
that is a blind spot. It's to the left,
Yes.
and it's just, there's a kind of a wall. It's a small wall, but it's a spot where if I don't see you there and you're just standing there, I'm not going to hit you. But if you're standing there and you're walking forward, by the time I get there, I might hit
Makes
you.
me nervous every time, ever since I ran over our stroller.
And anyway, I look, and then I start backing out. And as I'm rolling
I, like,
over
braced for
over
something.
the sidewalk, there's an old man
Oh.
walking a dog. Now he's walking Cavalier on the block, but I think this might have been like a grandfather because I haven't seen him before.
There's a Cavalier?
You know the one. There's one other Cavalier on our block.
Oh, yes, that I've still never seen.
I think
are
it
you
was
talking
like
about
the
Brule?
grandfather must have been visiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen this
But
Cavalier.
he gave me a look like, "Eh."
Oh.
And
Were you wearing your Cavalier Dad shirt?
no, and I was like, I just had that feeling of like, you know what, motherfucker, this is my driveway. If you're standing behind my car,
yeah.
I get to run your ass over.
Oh, wow.
I get to run you over.
That's
if you
the
want to
rule.
fucking stand, if I'm backing out of my driveway, motherfucker, fuck you. Don't give me that fucking look. You don't stand in my blind spot and then get all fucking at me when I'm just trying to take my. But god damn it, motherfucking. Brr.
Who is this guy?
This is MAGA Dan.
Clarify that you're not MAGA.
I'm not clarifying shit. One more motherfucker out there, and I'm voting for Trump.
Okay. Wait, so he was standing there waiting for you to go? And then he
That's
was
the thing. He
upset?
didn't.
I don't understand.
He wanted to keep walking forward. I don't know. Like, I guess he wanted me to let him go by.
But you didn't see him.
I know.
If you're walking a dog past driveways where people are pulling out at that hour, you have got to look alive.
when I would walk the dogs, if somebody's backing out, I'd stop and
Yeah.
wait for them. But clearly he was like, I've never seen him
But you've seen the
walking a dog.
Right.
Yeah, I know the dog. So clearly he's inexperienced here. Maybe he was getting his morning lottery tickets. But it's like, no, I don't have to feel bad about this.
Yeah, you don't.
You fucking ding dong.
Can we share? I have 2 parts of last night to share. So I'm in my melatonin zonin. That didn't come out right. Hang on. I'm very sleepy. In bed already. Daniel comes in, sits on the side of the bed, and he goes, I just got this text from our neighbor. And I'm like, is everything okay? And then he's just scrolling. And I'm like, is everything okay? And it took him 3 years to respond, yes, but. And I'm like, but there was, I forget what you said, something like, and I finally, I'm like, the suspense is killing me. Is this all husbands or just Daniel? Because also, we both have desks in the same room, except that I haven't used my desk since I got back from Japan. The weirdest thing is happening. I'm now a laptop on the couch person, but I've got to get back to my desk because I miss it. But you'll go, oh shit. And then I'm like, what? What? But you just are like, oh shit, because you forgot to send an email or something.
When I'm working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh no. What? So anyway, the suspense was killing me, but there was some drunk guy in our neighbor's yard.
This is what happened last night.
Yeah. Some drunk guy in our neighbor's yard redecorating their Halloween.
So weird. She sent me like her ring cam footage, and he was like, he took these little skeletons. I can't tell. They had these little skeletons hanging from the
stairs
roof line.
Oh,
and it looked like he took those and laid them out so that they were like,
which
on
is super
each step.
creepy.
Yeah, like some sort of weird, like this is what a serial killer does when they're signaling they're gonna. It was so
I hadn't
weird.
thought about it that way. He took this pumpkin and he like a pumpkin that you put candy and dumped it out, and he said, pour some candy out for my home.
He was clearly completely hammered, but he had this spider web draped over him,
which is our spider web.
It turned out it was. He had ripped it off of our stuff. I don't know. The whole thing was like
creepy.
Like, I need to. You have that feeling of like, okay, tomorrow I'm taking a trip to the gun store, but I'm not, because you won't let me buy a gun. Or will you? Maybe I do have a gun.
Right. We could have several guns. We could be total gun people. You don't know. Don't mess with us. We're gun people.
Yeah.
This is where my mind goes, though. Okay, there's a guy rearranging our Halloween decorations. He's drunk out of his mind. You have a gun. You bring it. How does that go down? Like,
well, if he
that's
was
how
in
someone
our property, I would shoot him.
Are you serious?
Well, no. No, but you
okay, Kabbalah.
No, you show it, and you say, "Get the fuck out of here." Get out of our property.
Yeah.
Go. You go. What you do is you go get.
You could do that with an unloaded gun, if you're just showing it.
Well, I don't know. I don't think either. I'm joking right now. This isn't necessarily the right way to handle a situation like that. I think maybe like the part of the problem is you don't know the condition of the person that's doing it.
Right.
Like if he's just hammered, like just really hammered.
That's what it seemed like. He didn't seem to have ill intent. He just seemed like
then he's
creepy.
Probably easy to deal with. Like even if he's erratic and he comes after you, it's like a really drunk guy. You just push them and they fall over. But you don't know that that's what it is. He could be on fucking bath salts. He could be schizophrenic and might be in some sort of state where he thinks you're the devil. Like that's the problem. You think it's going to be one way and you don't know.
He seemed more than just drunk. He seemed more addled than just a drunk person. But here's what's weird. He didn't destroy, well, he destroyed some of our cobwebs, but he didn't like destroy anything. He just rearranged it and talked to it, which seems weird.
Yeah, but someone doing that on your property, it's
creepy.
Yeah.
So I just like to use this public forum to remind you to please lock our car, because every time I go out there, it's unlocked. And I have said to you before, I'm going to get in one day and there's going to be a guy asleep in the back seat.
That's all right.
Wearing our Halloween decoration.
Where else is he going to sleep?
Well, that's very nice of you.
Yeah.
You should probably clean up the back seat for him first.
Yeah.
It's got stuff from many moves ago back there.
I'll put a pillow and a little cookie on the pillow.
Oh, that's nice. Some socks.
Some fresh slippers.
Yeah. I have some cramps.
They do?
I do.
You do?
I have some cramps,
You
yeah.
always have cramps.
Well, this is true. No, that's not true. So, not always.
Every couple weeks.
It's been a lot. There's been a lot of periods happening. But then I had hit a good zone. Today's, I was trying to remember. I have to change my patch today. Yeah, well, I hadn't got my period in a while. And then I think because I didn't have the patch for a day, or I don't really know. I'm talking about a nicotine patch, by the way. Just kidding. I'm not talking about HRT. Anyway, yeah, a period is upon me, and so are some cramps. Speaking of fertility and all that stuff,
Yeah.
last night, do you remember what Elliot asked me?
I do.
He said, how does it work when you want another baby? Do you have to ask for another baby, or does it just happen?
Was that his question?
Kind of, yeah.
Ask for another baby. Who does he think is being asked?
I don't know, but I was like worried. I didn't want to delve into it too deeply. I wanted to follow his lead. But
At 7, he's probably old enough to like know about that stuff.
about the dirty details.
Well, just the basics. He doesn't have to
Well, I said, the mommy has an egg and the daddy has a sperm, and he's like, where does the sperm come from? And I was surprised.
He asked that?
Yeah. Or no, he said, what
He
is
didn't.
sperm? He said, what is sperm?
Well, when a mommy and daddy really love each other,
They go to a doctor.
daddy looks at magazines with pictures of big butt Latinas. And
You didn't request it, it's just what they had.
Mhm. And then a scientist takes it and puts it into a dish and then freezes. Yeah.
Well, we really could get out of having the sex talk by just talking about how we got them, but I don't think that's right.
No.
I am
feel
so
like-
nervous about disclosing this information. It's funny. I'm like, please no, please don't ask, just not yet. Just because I'm not ready to have the conversation. He's probably hearing stuff at school.
It's weird because I don't mind telling them about sex. The weird part is telling them about sex and having them think about us having sex.
Well, that is, yes.
But like sex, generally speaking, I don't have it's more just like mommy and daddy having sex. Like,
Yeah. I remember being just horrified and like, so repulsed at the idea.
Right.
Were you also? Is everyone repulsed at the idea of their parents having sex? Probably.
Well, yeah, but my parents weren't together and the whole thing. But
Right, but I mean, is it repulsive for everyone to think of their parents being sexual? I would think so.
yeah. But also, like, you don't really know, even though, like, I remember my first understanding of sex was based on what my friend Elisa told me, which was that the man pees inside of me.
I mean, she's close.
Yeah, she kind of almost had it. So it just felt like, ugh.
Well, the truth is not that much better.
Right. I guess if I had known the truth, I wouldn't have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
How old were you?
I don't know. I was probably like 6 or 7.
Ugh. I think I'm still scarred. All right, let's listen to another one.
Hi, Alison and Daniel, maybe?
Oh, yeah, it is Daniel.
This is Lauren from Massachusetts, and I've been listening to you guys forever. This is my first time calling, and sadly, I am calling to say that Beetlejuice is a very obvious sequel.
Thank you, Lauren.
Just on the rarity of the name alone, although I do understand you did not see the first one. That's just really all it could be. I'm so sorry. I usually agree with Alison and not Daniel, but this was a little bit obvious. Also, wondering if Elliot has seen Beetlejuice. The language is a little inappropriate, but my 7-year-old, who's a little bit spooky, loved it. It's just a little bit crass in parts. And it's definitely something that he might like, maybe a little bit older. But I'm considering now taking him to Beetlejuice, which I think he knows is a sequel as well. Anyways, this is Lauren from Massachusetts. Oh, I think Alison loves to come to Massachusetts. She's talked about it a lot of times. I happen to live outside the city, way outside the city, in apple country, and it's really perfectly fall right now. And so there are pumpkins and apple picking and cider donuts. It's very cozy.
Oh my God.
Now that the 80-degree weather has broken and we have some rain and cool days. Sweater weather here for sure. All right. Bye, guys.
So jealous right now.
I need that.
I know we should move.
That tickled my seasonal clitoris. That sent me into a zone that now that I'm a true autumn, that's why I've been wanting to go to New England, because I'm a true autumn.
I was meant to live in that kind of climate. And the sad irony of my life is I grew up in fucking Southern Arizona and then moved to Southern California. Look at my skin.
You're not meant to be
I was
here.
not meant to be here. I was meant to be in northern climes with seasons and shit. I'm much more comfortable with that.
Cider donuts, pumpkins. Come on.
I know. The idea that there are people right now wearing sweaters kills me. It makes me
full of rage.
Just full of rage. Massachusetts is beautiful.
I've been to Massachusetts because I drove to New Hampshire twice.
That whole part of the
in a short period
gorgeous.
of time, and we went through Massachusetts. I'm very bad with geography. If I was going to Connecticut with my sister, would we have driven through Massachusetts? No, right?
From where?
New York City.
You go through Connecticut to Massachusetts.
Okay, yeah. So I've been through those. It's fucking adorable.
The only
I need to
problem
go.
with it is all those Bostonians that live around there.
We should visit my aunt.
Drive me crazy.
We should visit my aunt while she's still around.
Oh yeah, we should.
Where does she live? Salem. Is that near Boston?
Yeah, everything's near everything out there.
We should do it. I got to tell her I'm a true autumn. I feel like she'll be interested.
The weird thing, though, is about the East Coast is it is super charming out in the countryside and everything. And Boston as a city, at least where I've been, has a lot of charm. But there's also this kind of like old industrial, like depressed industrial aspect to it. Like if you take a train or you drive around, you'll just go through these areas that are just so beaten down and just like, because it's old, you know?
Right.
I don't love that part of it.
I've been sort of fascinated by North Carolina lately. Simply because I've been seeing social media of Asheville and it's so cute.
I'm trying to think yeah, it's fucking gorgeous. North Carolina, South Carolina is gorgeous.
I don't know if I would want to live in the South.
All that. I'm trying to think, what is the part of the country that isn't gorgeous? Texas, a lot of
California. Well, no, California is gorgeous.
What are you talking about? California
I stand corrected. There's a lot of LA that's not beautiful.
Well, the urban part of it.
Yeah.
But just I'm talking about in terms of like
Topography, unattractive topography.
like what's the part of, like, because I'm thinking like so much of America is
pretty,
fucking gorgeous.
yeah.
Like I think the middle part where it's just flat farmland, like a lot of Indiana and Illinois and Nebraska, Kansas, it's just like flat wasteland. Eastern Colorado, ranch country. I don't love that.
I don't know that it's unattractive. It's just samey. It's just a lot of.
There's no mountains. It's just farms. I mean, like if you like looking at farms, I guess that's good.
Why is Montana big sky country? Like, what does that mean?
Because probably like a wide horizon, big open skies. If you're on the East Coast, there's lots of trees, right?
Oh, okay. Because like the horizon's kind of always wide.
No, but like think about it. If you live in Connecticut, you're not seeing much of a horizon very often.
I guess, yeah.
Right? Because there's always trees everywhere. But if you're in, it's not
big
just
sky
Montana.
Country? Uh-huh.
It's not, Arizona's this way too, New Mexico. You can see
Right.
the fucking horizon. Now
Yeah.
you'll see mountains and shit, but it's like Utah. But it's like huge. The sky's huge because
Right.
of it, right?
How do you feel like the sky is in Burbank? I think we're kind of small sky country.
There's lots of trees here, so
Yeah.
it's not. I like Burbank though.
Yes, but do you think it's beautiful?
No, but I don't. It's very suburban, and suburban areas aren't generally beautiful anywhere.
In Japan, they are.
Yeah. I would say probably though they're probably like suburban areas, maybe in Georgia, that are beautiful.
Yeah.
But just not here.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's cozy. I like it. Could use some better restaurants.
Can we talk for a minute about how fun it was to have Greg and Jeff back? And so Greg Heller and Jeff Fox were on the Thursday show. Jeff had mentioned some weeks earlier that if you ever need a guest for the Monday shows, he'd be into it. And I thought he meant the one-on-one interviews because that's what comes out on Monday. And I was like, yeah, I would love to have him for a one-on-one interview. But we record the Thursday show on Monday. That's what he meant. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, I would love to have you anytime. And then Greg and I were texting, and Greg's like, maybe I'll come by and say hi sometime. And I said, well, if you do, I will probably ask you if you want to come on the show. And he's like, I would love that. Like, okay.
It's a heck of a drive for him. I mean, like, I would love it if he was on every week.
Me too.
But I mean, he's coming from like Mar Vista. That's like far.
But at the time of day he's coming, it might not be that bad.
If we did it in the morning.
Yeah. I think that's the only time he'd be able to do it because he picks up his kid, drops him off at like 8 something and picks him up at 5. So we would have to do it in the morning. But but then he was saying that for the time being, he is fairly available. It feels a little bit like an ex coming back.
You don't want to get your hopes up.
Yeah. No, for real though. It feels a little bit like an ex who's like, oh, look who's come back. Look who's sniffing around. And you got like the thing where you got to be careful because ultimately they want it less than you do. So I'm talking about an ex now, not Greg, but it's also Greg. Like, you got to be careful because one slip and the old dynamic is going to be back where you're all in and they're calling that. I'm not talking about Greg. This is relationship-y stuff, but a little bit, I feel like, got to play it cool. I can't be too eager. I can't be too needy because, it's like blowing on a candle to get it to light. Like, I don't want to blow it out.
Blow on a candle to get it to light?
Or like a flame is flickering and you're trying to give it oxygen to get it to be more robust.
Oh, I see.
But if it's too much and you just blow it out.
Does that work with candles? I know that works with fire.
Maybe not a candle. That's what I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
A fire.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying.
I know. It was just a little...
I don't want to like Lenny of Mice and Men this.
I get it.
So, I know. But a little bit, I'm like, I was thinking, they all come back.
They all regret.
all
They
come back.
see how the world is out there, and they go,
That was fun. They say that show was fun. I miss those days.
yeah.
I don't know. But it was delightful having them back, and I'm already looking for holes in the schedule to have them back again. So we shall see. I didn't even get to all the calls. So next time. Daniel,
Yeah.
where might we find you?
Just Daniel Quantz at X and Instagram and wherever. Just fucking putting shit out in the world.
And I
basically bite on everything that comes across my For You.
mm-hmm.
I react. I'm like the perfect victim of social media.
Yeah, we all are,
I
really,
just
in a way.
I feel like often I'll be commenting on something. I'm like, I don't need to comment on this.
I know.
Why do I have to react to everything?
Yes, I feel this way often.
Is there no me anymore? Am I now the bot?
Are you just clickety Dan?
I'm like Ben Hoffman.
I think
in
of that all the
sketch.
time. I know. Listen.
But it's great and totally worth your time to read it.
Also, I'm on Patreon. I am about to record 2 episodes. One is an Ask Me Anything. And if I do it, one is going to be about weight loss, because questions have come in about like, how did I lose weight? And I think that could be its own episode. However, I hesitate to talk about weight stuff because I know it's like a really triggering topic for so many people.
What, weight loss?
Yeah. And it's especially, but also it's
triggering?
but also it's triggering for me to get negative feedback from people letting me know that I have disappointed them or that I'm like, my words
Are you
bother them.
anticipating that this might happen? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. It's happened
Or have
in the
you
past.
received
In the
this?
past, anytime I would talk about weight and body stuff, I got a lot of feedback from people.
People
that
have
was
strong
negative.
opinions.
Yeah, well, when you talk, even if you're talking about yourself, they think you're talking about them, or that you're telling them how they should live. So I've just started steering clear of talking about it, but it's like, it's my life, so I do want to talk about it. I don't know. We'll see if I do it or not. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. And then my Substack. It is, I have achieved bestseller status, which means I have a certain number of paid subscribers. I've been talking a lot about the Corolla stuff, but other stuff too. AlisonRosen.substack.com. And then follow me on TikTok if you want to hear about this giant zit that has taken over my nose, but it's actually gone away. But I got a lot of stories out of it. You can hear Daniel in the background objecting. And I'm the Alison Rosen over there. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.